we'll go. Mesquite Tactical Maneuvers put on a run and gun called Knickerbocker, and if you're not familiar with run and guns, it's largely a long running course with shooting stages along the way, and you have to take everything you need with you, your ammo, your water, your tools, everything. There's no resupply. From the beginning to the first stage was 1.37 miles, and you immediately have targets from 200 to 600 yards from the prom. This and all stages had 180-second part time. On this first stage, we had 77 shooters and 18 did not finish. Well, my performance was 30th place at 94 seconds. The best was at 31 seconds, with the average being at about 103 seconds. Right here on this next shot, I put my hand right in front of the ejection port, causing a major misfeed, and now 3 rounds are all trying to get into the barrel at once. So once I clear that, I'm able to continue on and finish the rest of this. That obviously cost me quite a bit of time. If you want to see the difference between using a scope from 1 to 8x and using a red dot magnifier, I have a part 2 coming up, so please subscribe. The biggest challenge with this stage was the wind, and you can see in the upper right we had roughly 20-mile-an-hour winds. The 77 grain that I used really helped, but still definitely a challenge. The people that ran in the morning had a lot less wind, and the people that ran later in the afternoon had the increased wind. And the ROs that did the stage the day before had even more. So some of the parts with the run and gun are not quite fair, but that's also kind of the fun in it, and you have to conquer the challenges that you're given.
I don't know. Left. I think you're low and left. Yeah, low left. Hit! Oh. Okay, unload and show clear.
As we get ourselves safe and off to the next stage, which is about 3/4 of a mile down the road, fortunately a road, most of this whole course was off roads and the rocks were terrible. We get to stage 2, which was my favorite stage, and run by Run and Gun Solutions, who's the same guys that make the pack that I wear, and I absolutely love it.
Send it. All right.
Oh no, I put it right on him. Oh shoot.
Smoke yourself.
Ah!
We're ready.
Ready.
Stand by. Hit! 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 Holster! Tourniquet!
I think the challenge of putting on the tourniquet was a really good twist. This stage had 9 did not finishes. My performance was a 10th place at 68 seconds. The fastest was just under 50 seconds, and the average was 106 seconds.
Crank it. Lock it in.
Locked in! Don't worry, I stayed in a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Rifle. Hit! Hit!
These targets are only a little over 100 yards out, and I swear I'm a better shot than that. The problem is between all the trees, your rounds kept hitting a bunch of different limbs, so it would tumble and go somewhere other than the target, which was kind of a pain. But also really fun to have that challenge.
Oh shoot, I totally screwed up my... Don't
Hit! 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 Good.
And back on the trail we go, kicking cactuses and rolling our ankles on a whole bunch of rocks. We're going to travel about another half mile, and the next stage is the most did not finish stage on the whole course at about 61%. I think it's pretty safe to assume that the high rate is because of the spinner at the very end. My performance was a 6th place at 1 minute, the fastest was at 42 seconds, and the average was 87 seconds.
Oh, holster. Do I go round? Ah.
Holster.
So now we got about 3/4 of a mile to stage 4. We can roll our ankles on a few more rocks and get a few more pokes from the cactuses. And keep in mind that we're about 3.25 miles in and roughly 80-degree temperature with all your gear on, so fatigue's beginning to kick in a little bit.
No.
And with this stage we get a little bit of a break, shooting from some elevated luxury in the shade. For whatever reason, I just could not pull it together for this stage or the next stage. But 19 people did not finish the stage. I was 25th at about 1.5 minutes, and the fastest time was literally about half of my time at 45 seconds, and the average for completion was 108 seconds. These targets were pretty hard to see, even though they weren't all that far out. And I wonder if the time of day had much to do with how well people scored, because the shadows, I think, were just right, where they were very tricky to pick out compared to the background. These last few shots, there was a little bit of confusion with the one target. It wasn't picking up all the hits.
Did that hit?
Did it flash green? Sorry, I'm having help to see him if it's... I think you're high.
I hit that.
All right, hit.
That's the second hit.
All right, go for it. Go for white. Then we're having trouble with that one, I guess. Hit.
Oh, twice?
Yep, another one. Hit. Good deal.
About another half mile of ankle-breaking rocks. If you can't tell, I hated these rocks. This next stage was definitely my worst, and unfortunately, in addition to being my worst, I did a terrible job recording this. So I'm gonna have to explain a few of the things. Basically, you start on the far left target, and that will be your pivot target. So starting with that pivot target, then you hit the next target out to the right. You come back and you hit the pivot target, and then you go hit the next further target out to the right. And you keep doing this back and forth, which is why they call it ping pong. And you do this until you complete all the targets and then come back and finish with the pivot target. My biggest lesson here was indexing. So if you have a target that you know you're going to come back to, if you position your hand or have some way of knowing how to bring the rifle right back to the target, and you hold that steady, you can keep snapping back to that first target instead of having to search for it every time. And then we take a 3/4 mile run on to stage 6. And these gates you see here are for the exotic animals. There was a few times we had to stop for the buffalo. We saw quite a few antelope. It was a really neat environment to be in.
Pistols ready?
Okay, both hands on the wheel. Give me a nod when ready. Stand by. Hit! 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 Hit!
Okay, get the rifle.
You see me drop the mag here. That's for safety, so that when we return to the very beginning, we have an empty chamber. And that's something I need to give these guys high credit for. They did an excellent job making such a big adventure really safe. Huge kudos to the whole team. And I also think that the design setup of the whole run and gun itself was really great for new people being able to learn and experience, people being able to still compete. It was just an excellent layout the whole way across. In this stage, I placed 9th with 81 seconds. The best was 57 seconds. The average for completion was 115 seconds, and 18 people did not finish.
Hit. 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 Okay.
And we make about a 3/4 mile run to the final station. We are about 5.25 miles in, and finally the rocks are getting a little bit smaller. If you stuck with me this long, I really appreciate it. Please throw a like and share with a buddy so that they can enjoy it too. I'd love feedback from you on how to make these more informational, more fun. Tell me what you like and what you didn't like. I'm going to work on continuing to make these things better. And if I've got 4 pieces of advice, and this is going from just personal things that I've learned and talking to people at the event, the 77 grain was really helpful with that high wind. It just really made things easier. But also make sure you're sighted in. I can't tell you how many people said that their zero was just slightly off and they had to keep compensating, and it really threw them off and slowed them down. Also, moving your feet and moving to the next target rapidly. It's very easy to get relaxed between targets, but it's going to cost you a lot of time. So learning how to just get aggressively to the next target. And then finally, practicing on things like a Texas Star or a spinner will help you be able to complete some of these stages that are very challenging, that have things like a spinner. And I'm finally done with these rocks. We make our way to the finish line. We have our award ceremony where we find out how well we did. And there is no way to thank these sponsors enough. Please show them your love when you're ready to go purchase new stuff. And of course, thank you to Mesquite Tactical.